a fucking warm welcome to Gorillaz, Damon Albarn!
Okay, so these guys may not know about the Gorillaz, but I'm guessing if you were born any time before the 2000s, you do, and that's why you're here. But if you don't, let me fill you in real quick. Gorillaz are effectively a fictional virtual cartoon band that was created as a result of messing around by comic artist Jamie Hewlett and the geezer from Britpop band Blur. No, not that one. That one. But before I lose you, this fake band managed to make it big in America, saw chart success, and sold over 27 million albums worldwide. And still your critics call you just a kids band when you never even were. But let me address the title of the video before I lose you for a second time. This band all came about because of distaste for the music industry. The idea for Gorillaz came in the late 90s when Albarn and Hewlett were watching MTV. Hewlett himself said, "If you watch MTV for too long, it's a bit like hell. There's nothing of substance there." So we got this idea for a virtual band, something that would be a comment on that. For context, MTV was massive at the time. It would not only show cartoons, but also music videos, and it had a massive cultural impact. And the late 90s especially was when the boy band was at the height of its commercial success, with bands such as Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Albarn commented, "This was the beginning of the boy band sort of explosion, and it just felt so manufactured. And we were like, well, let's make a manufactured band, but make it kind of interesting." In a time where more than ever it seemed that it was image over talent, there was a point to be made. So the creation came about. If the industry was a sort of pop star manufacturing line, how far could you take that idea and give the industry a taste of its own medicine, essentially? Now, on the surface, Damon and Jamie created these cartoon characters that formed the virtual 2D band, consisting of Stuart 2D Pop, Murdoch Nichols, Noodle, and Russell Hobbs. No, not that Russell Hobbs. But it was so much deeper than that. Each character had an in-depth backstory, quirks, a personality, gave interviews, and even the ability to lose weight. This lore is so in-depth. There are countless forums and blogs that are dedicated to telling it. There's even a site called Gorillaz for Beginners. It's that deep. It's an internet rabbit hole. I won't go too much into the phases or backstories as there's already so much information online about that.
This video is an exploration, not an explanation.
But we'll use Cannonball Keith's comment on a subreddit for a brief explanation. Phases were used officially for complete arcs and album cycles. The end of an era was usually marked by a DVD release of all the work within that cycle. Only 2 of these were made, Phase 1, Celebrity Takedown, and Phase 2, Slow Boat to Hades. Phase 3 was never completed, and the official use of phases hasn't been used since. However, the fans still use the phase term for each new album release. Keith, we're taking your word for it. If you're wrong on this, I look like a massive cock, so thanks. But, please, let me remind you, the Gorillaz aren't real. They're no more than digital images. They don't exist. And this is exactly the point. They're a creation, just like your favourite pop star. After all, music is an art form. It should be more creative than just a conveyor belt of pop stars who churn out hits. It becomes a money-making machine rather than something that's about creative expression. Feel Good Inc. from the immediately recognisable Demon Days album is all about breaking that very mould. There's plenty of videos that break down the song, but in a nutshell, it's a dig at the industry, as well as being anti-consumerism. The song and the video both refer to the sorrow of a musician who is performing at somebody's command, deprived of all the pleasures of his art. It could be an exaggerated metaphor for the music industry. Take some of their more recent work. The 2020 episode-based series entitled Song Machine, where there's a musical device called the Song Machine, which is used by Gorillaz to produce tracks. Again, there's so much that could be dissected from that. Is it a commentary on how the music industry just churns out the same sounding songs, or that have the same beat or rhythm? As a whole, the Gorillaz are experimental and have dissected nearly every genre, it seems. Their songs as well are essentially mixed media, taking influence from lots of different cultures, films, art forms, even creating one of their biggest hits from a preset on a keyboard.
That's it, that's the preset. It's the Rock 1 preset.
They constantly collab with other artists, keeping it fresh, and importantly, introducing new artists and genres to the listener that they may not already know. And this is exactly the point. You're listening to something that doesn't sound the same as the song you just heard. Now, whether or not you side with the critics and see the Gorillaz as just another kids band, a side project of Blur's frontman, or his revenge for Blur's lack of success in America, there's no doubt that the Gorillaz were and continue to be a successful band. The clever way in which they made a mockery of the industry and were successful doing it. It's all slightly ironic. I mean, phase 1 was Celebrity Takedown, but essentially they've created their own kind of celebrity from these characters. And their idea of rejecting false icons, but essentially created something that people became obsessed with. I mean, will we ever know if this was their intention or they just accidentally proved that point? But I think the true genius is, when you hear this song, you think of a band that isn't even real. If you made it here and you're still watching, thanks for watching. Please make sure to drop me a like and subscribe. Bye!